So I want you to pause for a second. Ads don't generate leads. A system generates leads. Ads just drive the traffic to it.
Well, in a lot of cases, ads are not really the problem. It's everything else that before you even get to the ads, there's a lot of stuff that you need to set up and configure in order to make sure that ads work more efficiently.
Is that your offer isn't strong enough, and that weak offer will lead to low conversion rates, poor quality leads, wasted ad spend. The whole goal shouldn't be to get as many clicks as possible. It should be to get better clicks, better conversions. But what you should be really tracking to generate revenue is lead quality, conversion rate, and revenue per lead, because not all leads are equal. Most businesses don't have an ads problem, they have a system problem. Hi guys, welcome back for episode 62. So today I really want to dive into how to generate high quality leads from ads. Now we've got a client at the moment that wanted to do some ads, and the ads that she had up there weren't targeted specifically to the areas where she was servicing. So she was getting a lot of leads that were either tire kickers or people that she had to say no to, which is obviously a waste of money. So I just want to dive into how we actually generate those. So, why do most ads not work?
Well, in a lot of cases, ads are not really the problem. It's everything else that before you even get to the ads, there's a lot of stuff that you need to set up and configure in order to make sure that ads work more efficiently. Most businesses, when it comes to paid ads, most businesses tend to blame the platforms. They tend to blame targeting, which in this case, the locations was an issue, or the target that they think that is the creative, which it could be, right? And that's why you do a lot of A/B and split testing and things. But the real issue is generally what happens before and after the ad, to help make those ads actually work more effectively. And it's not just about sticking up an ad on Facebook or any other distribution channel. It's about taking the time to actually really set up your ads, and really understand who it is that you're actually targeting. So your ads, for instance, will only fix the things, like changing stuff on your ads won't fix things like your positioning, the offer that you're advertising in that ad, or any broken sales processes, which, by the way, you and I know that is a big issue with most of the companies that we tend to work with.
Yeah.
So ads won't generally fix your business if there's already issues there. What it does is it exposes it, but unfortunately the clients generally think it's ads at the problem, but it's not. It's everything else, either before or after the ads, which causes a lot of the problem.
Yeah, and we found that with, when we were just kind of servicing everyone, because we can help every business. What we do can span across every single industry, but when we had that poor positioning, the weak offer, it was, why should I use you over somebody else? So then that's where you end up, your ads can become a bit confusing and mismatched, as opposed to, and then obviously when you have that sales process, which is what we see with all of our clients, because people go into business because they love what they do, not because they're particularly great at doing ads or doing marketing or taxes and all that sort of stuff. So it's a big learning process as you go.
Well, let's take it back a step, actually, because generally what happens when somebody starts a business, they usually start it because they're good at something. It's not because they're good at ads. Ads and marketing and admin and everything else that goes along with it are things that a lot of entrepreneurs and founders and everything need to learn as they go. But one of the biggest things at that point within a growing business is they tend to try and just grab everything that they possibly can. So, well, if you ask them who is your customer, they'll generally say, well, everybody's my customer. Like, we could say that as well, right? Because we know that revenues, we've tested it in different industries, but we're focusing on a specific industry to make our life easier so that it gets our messaging properly to the right person. And that all that comes down to is positioning, making sure that you're positioned properly within the industry that you want to work in. And basically what happens there is once you understand your position and you understand who your target customer is, you've got your ICPs now set up, then you start attracting the right people. And if you don't do that, you tend to attract the wrong people, and that means that your ads end up bringing in low quality leads, price shoppers, tire kickers, unqualified prospect, and that's usually just because the messaging, even within the ads, are too broad. The targeting is unclear, and the offer is likely misaligned. So, in other words, you're finding the ads aren't finding the right people that you want to actually work with, and it just causes just chaos within the business.
Yeah. If your ads don't find the right people and they just attract whoever it's written for, it will really affect your lead quality. And then you'll end up spending, this is exactly what we spoke about almost last week as well, when it comes to spending more time doing the wrong things. It's better for you to, you know, have less leads where you're spending less time going back and forth with them than to have more leads going constantly back and forth with people who are just going to say, "Oh nah, I can't," or "Oh nah, I'm based in Perth, no Queensland."
That's right. And the thing is, the quality of the leads that are coming through is a reflection on the positioning of the business. So,
Mm.
provided you've got the positioning set up properly, and everything else should easily flow in for that. So that means that messaging will be easier because you should know exactly who it is that you're targeting, and there's
Yeah.
just a whole array of different things that need to be in place before you even think about ads. And this is one of the things that I was speaking to prospect about was, they are well, so she's working in sales, right? And she's expected to go out and do all the sales prospecting, do all the sales management, all this kind of stuff, which is fine for sales. But the marketing side of things isn't actually helping produce sales. There's just no support now because that is the positioning. Although some of the positioning is there, the messaging is quite wrong. And when if you're in B2B SaaS, for instance, and it's a high ARR, you're charging for your customers and things, your customers are going to, your prospects will be looking for you to be, well, probably like everything in business is they need to know, like, and trust you,
Yeah.
which are big levers in this kind of industry, and making sure that your ads are working more effectively.
Mm. One of the biggest things, and this is exactly why Alex Hormozy has written his books on $100 million offers, is that your offer isn't strong enough. And that weak offer will lead to low conversion rates, poor quality leads, wasted ad spend. And examples of like weak offers are generic services, unclear outcomes, and no urgency or differentiation. So if you say, "Oh, I'm a marketing agency and I do social media content," okay, cool. Like, why should I use you over somebody who does content creation for B2B SaaS and they help you generate X amount within the first 3 months, you know?
That's right. So if they're a generalist marketing agency, for instance, and they're not specifically positioned to target a particular niche, then the agency or the company and that is targeting the niche will generally be sought after more than what would be for the generalist. So
Mm,
it's going to be much harder for a generalist to do that because that's how they've positioned themselves. So they're just the same as every other marketing agency out there. They're not
yeah.
specific, and that's exactly why we try and focus. Well, we do now focus on B2B SaaS because that we want to be the leaders in there for revenue systems.
Yeah. And those high quality leads come from clear problems, clear outcomes, and clear value. And it gives peace of mind to your customer as well.
Yeah,
So
hundred
I want,
percent.
yeah. So I want you to pause for a second. Ads don't generate leads. A system generates leads. Ads just drive the traffic to it. Mm.
Nice.
Something for you to think about.
Well, the thing is, Chloe, like the LinkedIn post that you posted the other day there, everything that succeeds in life, your car, your life even as a system, the
your car,
everything.
your house, your
Yeah,
body, your phone, your, there's a plumbing system so that you can have fresh, hot, and cold water.
that's right. Aye.
Your phone's a system. If that breaks, then
So
you've lost everything.
this is
The ecosystem, it's all system. Everything in this world is a system.
so if you look
So
at the
why?
if you look at the ecosystem, for instance, the ads would be the cloud. That's what the ads would be. The cloud that's traveling all around the world.
Yeah, yeah. So what actually creates high quality leads? The first one is clear positioning. Like we've mentioned, those high quality leads come from clarity. Who do you serve? What problems do you solve? And why does it matter? Because without this, your ads are just going to attract everyone. Your conversions will drop and your quality ends up declining.
Yeah. So what I would actually say there is, rather than attracting everyone, I would say just probably attract no one, because the
Or
if
the wrong, yeah.
because because it's not targeted, it tends to just be generic, and people tend to switch off for that. So it's really important to make sure that you understand your positioning, and if your message speaks to everyone, your leads will reflect that.
Yeah.
And the second thing is the right offer structure. So your offer needs to offer a clear outcome, needs to be set for a defined audience, and needs to provide a strong reason to act. So examples of this include things like audits, strategy sessions, and specific outcomes. So the offer will tend to filter out who responds to it
Hmm.
if it's set up properly. And again, I can't reiterate this enough. You need to understand who your audience is. You need to understand how you're positioned, because that will have a massive impact on the messaging, which will have a massive impact on the revenue that you're going to be driving for that.
Yeah. And an offer could look like, what we do is we help B2B SaaS and high consideration clients, well, to be honest, probably double, triple their revenue within the first 12 months with a revenue system. So that's, it's got who we target, it's got what we do, and kind of how we do it.
And
It gives that,
measurable outcome.
yeah, that that strong offer really doesn't just attract the leads, it really filters them out so that you have the highest quality leads, so that when it gets to the sales, it's not a case of you having to fight for them to convert. It's a case of them pretty much ready to sign away and start with you.
That's right. And that's another reason why you should have a pricing page on your website as well, especially
Yeah.
for B2B SaaS. And even like solar and that kind of stuff, is imperative, because the first thing people want to know is, well, what's it going to cost me? You know,
Yeah.
but as long as they understand what the value is, price is normally never really an actual objection. It's usually something else underlying there.
Yeah, but like I'm the same when I go and search for things. I want to know how much it is. Does this fit my budget before I go and contact you? I don't have time to be sitting on a phone with you for 3 hours going, oh, can you do it for this much? Can you do it for that much? Or I've only got this much to spend. This is my budget, and back and forth.
Yeah.
If it's there, I know I can make an informed decision. The next thing is add creative that qualifies. So this happens a lot with lead generation companies where they'll just try and get as many clicks as possible. And they also tend to measure vanity metrics, clicks, impressions. Oh, look, your ad's got 1,000 impressions. Woo. Okay, but did it actually generate you money? Because if it hasn't generated you money, it's just a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, I see this in so many. I mean, over the last 24 years, I see this all the time, even with some like local marketing agencies, and you have a look at what the reports that they're delivering and things. Now, I'm not saying that specifically you don't need to understand, how many clicks an ad creative got and how many impressions it had, things like that, because that are valuable to a point, at a very low level. But certainly if you're reporting to the board, or you're reporting to the C suite or whatever, You really need to be reporting on the metrics that matter for that particular industry.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to a BB SaaS leader last week, and I managed to get to see one of the reports that was provided for the board. And lo and behold, I could not believe this, even in this day and age, that the marketing leader had put in things like impressions and clicks for some campaigns. There was nothing in there about LTV, CAC. It just kind of boggled my mind.
And for a B2B SaaS company, that's what you need to be measuring. While you can still have those, like, impressions, clicks, just to give an overall view, if you're missing all the stuff that actually matters.
Well, the C-suite doesn't generally want to know about clicks and views and impressions and things. I mean, that's something at the low level where the people that's managing it should be able to look at those data points and make decisions based on the data. So if they've had 0 clicks but they've had 5 billion impressions, there's something wrong with that ad. So that's something for the operator that's actually, optimizing things as needed. It's no for the C-suite, but it is important for businesses to think about the metrics that matter in their particular industry.
Mm. And those better ads will repel the wrong people again. It will track the right ones, and it'll, calling out specific audiences, highlighting specific problems, and setting those clear expectations will allow you to connect with your ICP.
That's right.
The goal, yeah, the whole goal shouldn't be to get the most, like, as many clicks as possible. It should be to get better clicks, better conversions.
That's right. I mean, you need to understand the ratio between clicks and conversions. Because if you're getting 1,000 clicks but you're getting 1 conversion, there's something wrong there. That would tell me probably your landing page is not matching with your ad. But that also tells me that you're getting lots of clicks from something that's just maybe not going to work. If you're getting 3 clicks and you're getting 3 conversions, then that's brilliant. That's what you want. So in other words, if you're getting three clicks and 3 conversions, 1,000 clicks and 1 conversion, I'll take the 3 clicks all day long, because the amount doesn't actually matter. What matters is what revenue is driven for the clicks, and that'll be determined by the conversions.
Hmm. And like you just mentioned, you need to have landing pages that are actually going to convert. A good landing page will, match the ad message, clearly explains the offer, and it will reduce the friction. Some common mistakes when it comes to the landing pages is too much information. If they click on your landing page, and if you have a landing page and they're going over, and your contact button is at the very end after 10 million paragraphs, they're going to bounce. They're not going to click through it. So you need to ensure that it's conversion optimized. And we've actually done a podcast on this, so I'll link that down below. Make sure you go watch that one.
Yeah, 100%. And I've seen landing pages that are honestly about 3 miles long, and it's in a lot of places it actually just repeats the same information, like social proof and all kind of stuff. And I can see where that kind of came from back in the day, and a lot of people using click funnels, and the implement one of the templates, and it's got about 50 different sections before you get to the payment section, to try and convince you that this $7 downloadable ebook's going to change your life and you're going to be a multi-millionaire by then. That's not how to do things. People don't have time. Sure, if it's B2B SaaS, don't proceed with features and things like that. People need to understand what's the benefit of me using this. Why should I use this from using my spreadsheets? Where is a demo? That's another thing as well. Where you need to actually speak to a salesperson to get a demo. It shouldn't be like that nowadays. You should be able to create a demo and have an on-demand demo so that people can go in, view it, and then go back and view it again, and go back and view it again. They don't want it to be in that that state, that high sales pressure kind of environment where, right,
Yeah.
well, I've showed you the demo now. Do you want to proceed? And well, we set a proposal and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let people make a decision themselves. You just need to be good at articulating what your offer is.
The thing, what you want to do when it comes to selling though, is you want to make it like it's their choice. Like
Correct.
they're choosing to be with your business, not that they feel pressured. Because then, if they feel pressured, they will have that sense of resentment and negative feelings towards you.
That's right.
Whereas if they feel like they've made that decision, they're more inclined to be happier through the sales process, provided your customer journey is optimized.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. And then following on for that, you've got this the speed and follow up from when the ads are actually generating leads as well, where most businesses tend to lose the leads because the response times are slow. I mean, I've submitted a contact information to Enom 2 weeks ago, and it's taken them a week to actually get back to me. And then when they did get back to me, I had to log into their support. Even though I'd submitted a ticket on the support on my account on their support system, I still needed to provide them with a 4-digit PIN code in order for them to reply to it. It's just madness.
Yeah.
So slow response times will not help your future sales, and it'll probably have a negative impact on retention, which is one of the biggest growth levers, especially in B2B SaaS. Also, they tend to lose leads because of poor follow up. So they'll maybe follow up once and think, "Oh, I don't want to annoy them." Shut up. Get back in there and get following up. Make sure you're following up 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you get to the point where, like, if they're not responding, it's maybe time to, send a breakup email. Nice email.
Yeah.
You've not responded. I'll take it for you. I'll take it that you're obviously not interested. If you want to get back to us when you are interested, then reach out, etc., etc.
And don't be scared to reach out multiple times. Don't feel annoying because people have lives. People might look at your message and go, "Oh, yeah, I'll reply later." And then later is like a week later and they've forgotten about you.
That's right.
When you're top of mind and you're constantly, obviously not, shouldn't be calling them 20 times a day, sending
Yeah.
3 messages a day, 3 emails. That's not what it's like. But, every couple of days, hey, just checking in and having those varied contacts between email, phone, and text. I don't like phoning people. I don't want to sit on the phone to you and answer questions. Just email me or send me a text message and I'll get back to you when I can.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, making sure you've got sequences in place to deal with that is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
So
You're,
I mean, that goes into the whole sales process type of thing as well, to make sure. So, for instance, if you take our platform, not that I'm going to try and sell it and sell it and sell it, but what I will say is our social media paid ads account might integrates with our system so that when a lead comes through from Facebook, automatically goes into the CRM and it starts that follow up process so that you don't need to wait until the end of the day to get a CSV to send it to your client, or to find out who's actually submitted a
yeah.
quote request and things like that. So the lead quality is generally affected by how quickly that you respond, and also how well you handle the conversation. So the faster you respond, the higher the quality feels of that entire process, and that in itself will help with improve the customer journey and the customer experience, which in tail will help with retention.
Now, when we speak about these ads are one little speck within our revenue systems. A revenue system includes acquisition, sales process, retention, technology that you're using, content marketing. There's a whole ecosystem of how we generate revenue for our clients. But if a part of that process is weak, then it does have a negative effect on the system as a whole. But optimizing your ads alone won't just fix your revenue. Like, that's not going to be the only thing that's going to fix your revenue, because if your ads are generating you leads and your sales process is crap and you're not even following up with anybody, You could optimize your sales process and you might see a 20-30% increase in conversions. So it's not just looking at your ads alone and fixating on that one thing. It's looking at the full system as a whole.
That's right. I mean, this includes things like SEO, content marketing, sales,
Podcasts.
marketing, customer
Yeah.
success, and then within that, it's split up even more to NPS surveys, feedback, reviews, and all that kind of stuff. So all of that needs to be working coherently within a system to help you drive revenue much more efficiently and effectively.
Yeah.
So one of the ways to do that with the system is with alignment across marketing and sales. So high quality leads come from alignment between the messaging, or sorry, let's actually start with the positioning, the messaging, the targeting, the sales expectations. And if marketing promises one thing and sales delivers another, the trust will generally break, conversion drops, and if the lead quality drops when the lead quality will drop when the expectations aren't aligned between marketing and sales, and that's where you get this constant siloed functions within an organisation where marketing's blaming sales and sales are blaming, and it's just a bit of chaos. What you should do there is get the teams together, which includes customer success and operations, and get everyone round the table. Everyone does the planning. We create a revenue plan. They are then called a revenue team, and they run the revenue system together, and that aligns everything together.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the next one, which we've already spoken on quite a fair bit, is measuring what actually matters. So, like we said earlier, most businesses will track clicks, impressions, cost per lead, like low level stuff that, when you're a CEO or founder, like I don't need to know that stuff. That you should know that as the person who's doing the ad so you can make data informed decisions for your future ads. But what you should be really tracking to generate revenue is lead quality, conversion rate, and revenue per lead, because not all leads are equal.
Yeah, well, a cheap lead is expensive, and it generally never converts. And expensive because it just takes up a lot of your sales team's time, and
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than getting tire kickers. So you want to make sure that when you're putting the ads out, you've got all these other structures in place and everything's aligned properly.
Yeah. So how do you actually improve your ads? So you want to start with a system. Like we said earlier, everything has a system. Your car, your phone, your body, everything has a system. You'll have a revenue system, and then within that system, you'll have a specific system for your ads and how they operate. So before you even think about scaling your ads, you need to fix your positioning, your offer, and your sales process. And then your ads will amplify what already exists.
That's right. And generally, what you should do there is just simplify and focus. So don't run too many campaigns. Test everything. Don't test everything at once. So if you're doing any split testing and things, and you want to change the color of a button, don't change the color of the button and the label on it. Just change one or the other. You do want to focus on clear messaging, which is targeted at your ICP. You want to make sure that each ad is targeted to one clear audience. So if you have multiple ICPs with different buyer personas, you want to make sure that that ad is targeting one buyer persona within that ICP, and only have one strong offer. Because if you put more than one in there, people get confused and will not buy any.
Yeah. So most businesses don't have an ads problem, they have a system problem. And we talked about this last week as well. Those high quality leads don't come from creating better ads, they come from better systems. And having that in place from your revenue system, within that revenue system is your ad system and the whole process from your ads. If you found this valuable, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And if you're serious about building a predictable revenue system, not just about running ads, then make sure you follow Adonis Media on all of our platforms.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
See you next week, guys. Bye. Over 90% of people watching this podcast aren't actually subscribed, and we post conversations like this every single week. If you're serious about building predictable revenue, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast.